Bloom's taxonomy has long been known as one of the best structures teachers can use to be sure that their instruction includes not only the most basic levels of understanding, but those higher order thinking skills as well. Bloom's taxonomy includes the levels of remembering, understanding content. That's the most basic level. From there, it moves on to the application piece, and then requiring students to not only apply their knowledge, but be able to effectively analyze content. Evaluate takes it to a level where students have to think about it not in terms of the content itself, but in terms of the content related to the world around. And then creation. That creation or evaluation level takes it even deeper, where students have to make something new from something existing. Those are the levels of Bloom's taxonomy that we already know. Now, in the world of technology, there are new questions. Does technology change Bloom's taxonomy and these levels of thinking? Does it come before these levels of thinking? How does it tie together? Is there a direct correlation? The SAMR model is a well-known model, designated SAMR as an acronym of the different ways that technology can be used in education. Substitution. Substitution is when you substitute something from technology for something that previously wouldn't have been available, but there's no functional change. It does not in any way modify the activity itself or the requirements. Augmentation is when you substitute with functional improvement. So augmentation uses technology to actually make a learning experience better. Modification actually gives a significant task redesign. So the instructions or the opportunities for a student in this case would be very different from if technology were being used as a substitute. And then redefinition. New tasks that were previously inconceivable become possibilities for students when technology in these levels is introduced. We'll look at each level briefly and its correlation to Bloom's taxonomy. But notice at the middle of this model, there are attributes and capabilities that a well-rounded learner is going to exhibit, including being a good communicator, having energy, passion, enthusiasm, value to ethics, remaining calm, thinking strategically, honest, giving credit, and persevering. Those relate not just to the cognitive realm, but to the emotional realms of thinking and the emotional realms of being for students. Technology can be used as a substitute for a lot of your traditional learning activities, such as highlighting, blogging, writing, even searching, doing research. Using technology as a substitute generally falls into the category of those basic thinking skills which require students to remember content, understand information, and have the most basic level of understanding of something. Also in the realm of institution within technology, there's some overlap once you get into the application category. So requiring students to apply content. If you look at the action verbs listed in this graphic, you have verbs such as edit, implement, stimulate, share, carry out, upload, play. These are application verbs, so the student has to go from that level of understanding to where they're actually doing something. It's still a more basic level of understanding, and rather than simply having this student create a poster or get up in front of class and talk, you can use apps such as Explain Everything, Keynote, or PowerPoint, even Evernote and Google Docs, or just having them record their voice. This category has some overlap with using technology not just as a substitute, but to augment the learning. This is where it is used as a substitute, but it actually has additional benefits as well. Examples of using technology to augment and actually provide functional improvement within the application domain include idea mapping programs, cartoons, and podcasts. Of course, this also over into Bloom's category of analyze. As students are required to show their understanding with this higher order skill of analysis, applications such as numbers, Poplet, Pages, comic books require students to take the information that they know and take it to that next level of thinking as they demonstrate in a unique way using these technology programs that they indeed understand on that level. As students begin to prioritize, discuss, collaborate, appraise, and critique within the evaluate domain, you see technology taking on a role of modification, where the task is not only enhanced by technology, but it's actually redesigned. And with some levels, or some skills on the evaluate level, and then on into create, you see technology being used to redefine the opportunities that students have in their assignments. And redefinition involves these new tasks that before would not have been possible. So examples of modification where the task is really redesigned from what was possible before include things like Edmodo, wiki nodes, apps and programs that allow students to collaborate on a much deeper level and across the country, across the world, across the classroom. Finally, as students reach the highest level of thinking, technology has the opportunity to stretch their thinking in ways that before would not have been possible. For example, iMovie, Prezi, GarageBand, Toontastic provide opportunities for students to actually combine a variety of skills, not just to show that they understand something, but to show that they understand something in its depths. ScreenChomp, WordPress. If students are required to create or design something new using knowledge they already have, not only are they required to use engineering skills and science skills, but of course they have to actually understand to a very deep level the content that they're using. With the vast amount of resources in the world of technology today, the SAMR model provides a helpful chart so that as teachers begin with standards, use the Bloom's Taxonomy action verbs to effectively define what they want their students to learn and to demonstrate, that with this chart, it gives a starting point for teachers to look at those resources that they can incorporate into their instructional strategies. Just like pencil and paper or quiz or a video is never the starting point for a teacher who's planning a lesson, likewise technology will not be the starting point for a teacher who's planning a lesson. The starting point remains those skills that the students need to learn. And the action verbs from Bloom's Taxonomy carry over into any area, instructional strategy, assessment activity that the teacher might use. Sometimes pencil and paper might be the best method. But with all the technology resources that are available today, there's no reason that teachers can't step outside their comfort zone a little bit. And the SAMR model, with the examples of apps and programs that can be used for substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition, is a very useful tool for teachers and educators.